So I saw Scream 7. That's right, we're 7 movies deep in this franchise. Usually when you're 7 movies into a horror franchise, they like to add subtitles to try and make you forget that you're 7 movies deep, like Saw 3D The Final Chapter, or Wes Craven's New Nightmare, or Halloween H2O. Not Scream. No, the Scream franchise wears that 7 like it's a fucking badge of honor. So Scream 7 is the direct sequel to Scream 6, and it follows Melissa Barrera, Jenna Ortega, and the movie starts off pretty much right where the cliffhanger left us in the last one. Oh, wait a minute. Never mind, Scream 7 does not pick up where we left off at the end of Scream 6. Actually, Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega aren't even in this one. The studio fired them. So Scream 7 is actually like a soft reboot or something, where now when you're binging these movies, you're supposed to just skip the last 2 and go straight from Scream 4 to Scream 7, I guess. Because now our main character, once again, is Sydney Prescott, played by Neve Campbell. We are also introduced to her daughter, Tatum, who I could also see taking over the franchise as the new main girl. Even though they scrapped the original plans for the 7th movie because of the issues with those main actresses, they still managed to write those twin characters into this one. But when the movie's over and you sit back and think about it, it makes absolutely no sense for them to even be here whatsoever. Like, did you ever show an interest in being reporters in the last 2 movies? Oh yeah, Gail is in this one. She just kind of pops up on screen out of nowhere halfway through the movie and really isn't worth mentioning because by the time I'm done with this sentence, I will have officially spent more time talking about her than screen time she had in the movie. Like, it is so incredibly clear that this movie was written in a last-minute panic state of mind because holy shit, does it make no sense at all. Lots of time is spent in this town. The killer is chasing people down the streets and through buildings, and never once is there anybody just walking around or driving or existing. I guess this is just a ghost town apart from our main characters. Also, nobody ever calls the cops. It really just feels like the police don't exist within the universe of this movie specifically. The main girl's best friends are all dying around her in horrific ways, and not once does she even act like it affects her at all. I know everyone watching has seen the trailers, so I'm not going to spoil the actual movie, but I do want to touch on the return of Matthew Lillard as Stu, because that seems to be what's getting everyone to see this movie. Without that little bit of nostalgia bait, this movie would have absolutely nothing to make it stand out. And let me make it clear, I am not using that as a compliment. I think what they did with Stu is unforgivable in this movie, and I'm just saying without it, this movie would have nothing to set it apart from being honestly just a Scream spoof. It wouldn't even qualify as a Scream movie in my opinion. It feels like we're watching one of those stab movies, and I'm not even exaggerating. The acting is so bad to the point where it feels like they're doing it on purpose. The Ghostface kills themselves are okay. They aren't the worst I've ever seen. They're definitely the meanest kills in the whole franchise and probably the goriest. A few of them were pretty cool to watch, but some of the others were kind of stupid. Namely one in a bar with just some of the most awful CGI that I've seen in a long time. The best part of the movie was the opening scene, but if you completely took it out of the film, it wouldn't have changed anything. Like, it's completely detached from the rest of the movie, and it is entirely a cold open. At least the opening kills in the other movies usually jump-started the plot and the characters had some sort of significance. Not here. These are just 2 nameless random people that we don't care about or think about again once they're gone. And unfortunately, that was the best scene of the whole movie. The Ghostface reveals at the end of the movie will absolutely go down as the worst, most ridiculous, stupid, and somehow predictable reveals of all time. I thought that the killer reveals at the end of Scream 6 were bad. Like, I was actually enjoying that movie, kind of, and then the killers were revealed, and I thought it kind of tanked the rest of the movie for me. The reveals in Scream 7 were just on another plane of existence. The other plot twists don't hit. The AI bullshit was so stupid. These characters do not matter. Like, none of them have any sort of personality or character traits. They just exist. The movie has no meta angle whatsoever, which is crazy because I thought that was the most important part of Scream. It's just kind of Ghostface killing people with no motives, and it's all just so wrong. This is by far the worst Scream movie. I hated it with every fiber of my being. I think it's absolutely, completely terrible poop, dog shit, garbage, and I wish it didn't exist. I don't think the other Scream sequels are great movies, but this is the first time where I will say a Scream movie is straight up just terrible. It actually makes me appreciate 5 and 6 more, and I plan on rewatching those. I will never ever rewatch this piece of shit. The only redeeming qualities are the opening sequence, and some of the kills are pretty violent. Other than that, I'm giving Scream 7 a big fat 2 out of 10.